welcome back to my channel. So it has been a little bit since I last uploaded a video, and it's because I've been working on something else, my podcast. I mentioned it in a previous video or some videos a couple of months ago that I was starting a podcast and it will be out soon. Well, now it is available. The name of my podcast is Revolution Tea. So I started my podcast myself. I learned how to get it all out there, how to start, how to record, how to edit, all of that. And I want to help you guys do that because I know many of you guys probably are wanting to start a podcast. That's why you're here. And you may be wondering how to do that. You may be thinking that you have to have a backing. And I just want you to know that you can do it yourself. This is the way that I do it. Just a disclaimer. My podcast is on iTunes, Google Play Music, as well as SoundCloud. So I'll be talking about those platforms, but I believe if you follow this way, you can easily get onto many other platforms. Then I've done the trial and error for you. So the items that you will need, first of all, when starting a podcast, I like to start with the most basic of basic things, a notebook. The notebook is where your notes will go. Any podcast episodes, it's good to really just brainstorm and have an idea of what you want the podcast to be about, what you're going to talk about, episodes, writing things out so that you have something set, at least preliminary, so that when it is time for you to record and all of that stuff, you already know what you're going to talk about, what you're going to do. And then of course, you're going to need a mic. There are so many different mics on the market that you can use, but this is the mic that I use. I use the Blue Snowball Ice. Anything that I mention here, I'm going to list in the description box. So if you would like to go and purchase it, or you just want to check things out, then you can. This one is not as expensive as a lot of the other ones. And if you listen to my podcast, you will hear that the sound is it's pretty good. Like when you hear me talking, for me, honestly, it works perfectly. I think it's a great starter mic. I would definitely try to get an external mic versus like trying to record directly into your computer or something like that. The next thing that you will need is, of course, a space to record. So I use my closet, and when I first started the podcast, I had a small closet, which was perfect because there were clothes in there, and the clothes help to just drown out all of the sounds and everything. I don't have anything special in there. I literally just go there into the closet because it is pretty quiet, and it's not like where there's windows, so you won't hear traffic and things like that. And of course, like I said, there are clothes in there that are drowning it out. So you'll see here. Okay, so this is the closet where I record. It's not all like cute or whatever, but whatever. Space, and all the clothes are here to drown out the sound, like I said. So we have clothes, shoes, and stuff. This space is pretty empty, which is okay because usually I put a blanket up here, and you'll see there are clips here. This is the rule, okay? There are clips here because I usually clip the blanket here, and it holds. The biggest thing is that you just want to make sure that you are recording somewhere that's quiet, so you don't have a lot of the extra noise around you, especially when you're beginning, because when it comes to editing, if you pick up all of that noise, you're gonna have to try to edit all of that out, and that can be extremely tedious, especially as a beginner. Okay, so whenever I am recording, like, this is the real deal, okay? Like, it's not all fancy, whatever, and I want to show you guys that you don't have to be fancy to get the job done. You know, it's temporary because eventually I will have a studio and all of that, but right now this is how I record and where I am. So I come in here to the closet, and this is my setup. So I have my computer right here, I have my mic, and then, you know, connected to the computer. Let's say that I was about to record the episode. Whew, well, I'm out of breath. So I would come right here, the mic. That's why I said this is like one of the best mics, because I really don't have to move it or anything like that. I have a pillow here because it just kind of helps my voice to not bounce against the wall. But like I said, I have a blanket usually that goes right here. So I would come here and have the chats with my interview or with my guest, or if it's just me, and that's it. This is where the recording part of things happen, and then once I'm finished, I just go sit at the desk and edit. That's it. Another thing that you would need is a laptop or a computer, like a desktop. Obviously that's what you're going to use to get all of your audio into, and then also to edit. Speaking of editing, you will need editing software. I use Adobe Audition for myself personally. That was an investment that I felt was worth it because I edit videos, I edit pictures, I created my workbook using all Adobe products. So I purchased the suite, and I've had that since I started my YouTube channel, and it's a monthly charge that you pay, or I think you can pay it for the year if you would like to, but it's definitely an investment. But there are other programs that you can use that are free. I've never used them. I've only used Adobe Audition, and honestly, it can be intimidating as well. It's new, but it's ultimately like trial and error, just trying different things. If you are already into like video editing, then going into Adobe Audition, you'll begin to grasp things a bit more and better. It's not as difficult. You just do it. That's my editing software, but I also can record directly into Audition. So if it's an episode that is just me, a solo episode, which was my first episode, and also my 7th episode, it's just me, it's a solo episode. So I don't have to worry about getting another program. I just record directly into Adobe Audition. So another thing that you will need to use if you are having a podcast where you're going to interview other people, you need to have another way to record them if they're not with you. So what I use is Skype. I use Skype to interact with my guests and record. Now, the way for me to record the Skype call, I use a program called Ecamm Movie Tools. That also does cost. I want to say I paid maybe $29 like flat, and it's mine forever. And so it records the video, so it records myself and also the guests as well as our audio. I tried some other ones, I didn't really like them too much. Ecamm has been the best thing. I like that because when I go into Skype and I get to my guest, Ecamm automatically pops up and I just hit record. I don't have to do anything else. My guest doesn't have to do anything extra but log into Skype. I know some of the other programs, I believe you'd have to give them like a login or something, and then they have to press, and you have to make sure that their audio saves and all that. I don't want guests or anyone to have to do any of that, and especially you want things to be as easy as possible. So the cool thing is that once you're finished with your interview, you just stop recording and it automatically separates the audio. So you have one track for your voice and another track with their audio. And then that's what you would take to put into your editing software. So hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, I will put all of this stuff in the description box so you know exactly what I'm talking about. The last thing that you need would be headphones. So you want to have headphones so that you can plug them into your computer so that there's not any feedback. So whenever you're recording, even if it's just you, especially if you are having another guest, you don't want to get the computer recording you as you speak and then also them, and then you have kind of like there's that feedback. Hopefully that makes sense. If you do plan on having a podcast where you interview other people, tell them to bring headphones also to plug them into their computer so that there's not any feedback on their end as well. On your computer, what I recommend is, this is just a great way for organization. Keep folders for each podcast, each episode. So whenever it was time for me to edit that episode, I have everything in that one folder and I'm not trying to go around looking for it. Okay, so now you have your episode, you have the recording done, and you have the editing done, and you're ready to upload your first podcast. So this is where things may differ with many different people. This is the way that I do it. So I host my podcast through my website, which is randomlyonisi.com. So I have a WordPress blog, and Bluehost is my site host. So that's the way that I did it. This is the part that can get a little tricky, but it's not difficult at all. Like I said, I'm going to put all of this information in the description box for you guys. So Bluehost is like the host, okay? And then I have a WordPress blog. So what I do anytime I am logging on to upload a podcast, I first go to Bluehost and then I log into my WordPress blog. The important thing to know is that before you are able to get things going with your podcast, it has to be accepted. So that's for iTunes as well as for Google Play. Like I said, these are the platforms that I use right now. So you need to have one episode ready and uploaded. So I'm gonna walk you guys through that process. Okay, so once you have logged into your WordPress blog, you're going to need to add the plugin Blueberry PowerPress. The way to do this is go over to plugins on your left-hand side and click Add New. You're going to search for Blueberry PowerPress and it'll pop up. You're going to click Install Now. I already have it installed, so it's showing here that I already have it, and you see it says active. You want to make sure that once you install it, you click activate. Now, once you have it installed, go ahead and scroll down on your left-hand side and look for the plugin PowerPress. Now we're going to go to our settings and configure everything. So this is where you're going to put in all of your information for your podcast. I recommend that you start in the simple mode. Do not switch over to advanced mode. Do simple mode first. This will save you a lot down the line. So go through and fill out all of your information, your program title, which is the title of your podcast, subtitle, your summary. So all of these fields here will be what your listeners will see once they find your podcast on the platform. So this is for iTunes. You want to just make sure that you have a working email so that when you do submit your podcast, they will send an email to this email to let you know if it has been accepted or denied. Everything else here, I would recommend that you just leave it as is. You don't have to go in and change anything. All of these things here that says advanced options that are checked, just leave it as is. Once you're finished, click Save Changes. So the next thing that you're going to do is add the blog post with an episode. You'll notice here that step 2, you can click it there where it says create a blog with an episode. I don't click that. What I like to do is add my audio file or my media just separately. You do this by going to media on your left-hand side in the sidebar, click Add New, and either click Upload or choose File, and your documents will open. So you want to go to that episode that you are uploading now. Remember, if you made the folders, then it is easy. You just click on that person and that episode, or whatever way that you have it. Open that episode and upload it. So it's in your library. Now you want to click on library so that you can see all of your uploaded files, all of your media, pictures, everything. So what you'll do is find that episode that you just uploaded. So you see here, I have episodes that I've already uploaded. So I'm just using this one for example. Now you will see that you have a URL. This is what you will need to pretty much upload your podcast. So you want to copy this and you can paste it into a Word document, or you can always come back to this media file and copy it. Everything else here you need to input because this is what will show on your podcast episode when someone goes to your podcast. So the title, the artist, the caption, the description. I recommend you copy all of this information and place it into a Word document so that you can use it later. I promise you this will save you so much time down the line, and I'll show you what I mean. So now we want to create the actual post. You'll do this by going back to that left-hand side, the sidebar, click Post. You would hit Add New because you are creating a post. I'm going to show you guys an example of a previous post that I have made. So this is my 3rd episode. Okay, so I have the title here. So just as I said, copy everything that you put into that information on your media file. You can literally go to that Word document, copy it, and paste it here. So you would copy that title there, copy that description right here as well. I usually like to put something in the beginning of that description here where I say, welcome back. This is the 3rd episode. I don't usually put that with my description that goes onto the podcast itself. It's up to you. Now, on the right-hand side is where you will decide what day and time you would like this episode to be uploaded. That doesn't mean that it will show up that exact time because, like I said, they have to approve it, but at least that means that it's out. So anyone who's coming to your blog, they will be able to listen to it. Now, as far as categories, you can leave this blanket, if you are starting out, or you can go ahead and select categories. I have, like, for example, inspirational podcast, self-improvement, because that's what this particular episode is about. So now I'll walk through it with you. So you're going to add new post, put your title here. I'm just doing, for example, podcast episode 1. Remember the document that you have with all of that information, just go copy it and paste it all right here. Here you'll see that there is an actual link for you, so you can easily copy this link and share it with someone so that they can come directly to this podcast episode on your site. Always remember to schedule the time that you want this post to be live, the date and time. Remember all the time to do that. It's over on the right-hand side. Now, everything else, like this here, you'll see Yoast, SEO, all of this stuff. Don't worry about any of that because you're starting out. Everything else, just leave it as it is. As you scroll down, you will see podcast episode. Now, remember that URL, that link that you copied from your media, this is where you are going to post it. Once you post it here, you need to click verify URL, and it's just making sure that it actually is working properly. Once you see that the media has been verified successfully, you're good. This file size, duration, you can leave that whatever way that it has been marked off for you. Your featured image will be the cover image or the cover photo. So if there's a specific image that you have for your podcast, you can put that here. Or if you have a picture of your guest, you can put that there as well. Tags will be whatever this podcast is about. So health, self-development, things like that. This just helps people to find your post. Once you're done, you want to hit publish. Now, once you have your first post up and live, you are now ready to get approval for your podcast to actually be live, like on iTunes or whatever platform that you would like for it to be on. So now we're going to do that. So now you want to go back over to your left-hand sidebar, click PowerPress and Settings. We are getting ready to submit to iTunes and other podcast directories. So you want to click that. Now you need your podcast feed URL. This will ensure that you don't have to manually upload your episodes to each one of the podcast directories every time you have a new episode. You just put it onto your blog site and the feed will automatically recognize that there is a new episode. So it will show up in iTunes and Google Play or wherever else you have it, except for SoundCloud, which I will show you in a little bit. So because of the way that we've done things, we've already done all of this here, all of these requirements except for our artwork image, which is easy. Go back to your media. You want to add the image that you want to use. Once it's there, copy that URL and you're going to come back into your PowerPress settings. Scroll all the way down until you get to iTunes image. And then that's where you're going to paste that URL. Click the preview so that you can make sure that it works, that you can actually see your image, and then make sure you hit Save Changes. Okay, so we're ready to submit our podcast to Apple Podcasts so that they can approve. You want to follow all of these instructions here. Now, I am already connected, so it'll look a little bit different, but literally, if you follow these steps, you'll be good. It's fairly simple. So scroll back up and copy your podcast feed URL. Go into your iTunes Connect and paste it here. You're going to click Validate, and this is to make sure that the URL is working. Now, for me, you will see that I received an error because I already have this feed going. It's been submitted. For you, you should be good. As long as you have that first blog post and episode done, then you should be good. All of the description, everything that you've entered shows up here. Now you're just pretty much waiting for that email saying that congratulations, your podcast is live. Now on to Google Podcast. So I like to do it this way. Go to Google, type in Google Podcasts portal. The first link, click on that. what you're going to do is make sure that you are logged in, and it'll walk you through all of that. That's the easy part. Once you are logged in, you are going to hit add a podcast. That same feed URL that you previously used is going to go here. You want to submit the RSS feed. I'm not submitting it because I already have. Afterwards, it will walk you through everything, verifying ownership and preparing to publish the podcast. On Google Play, you also have to be accepted just as iTunes. So you would receive an email saying, hey, yes, you are good to go, or hey, this is where we have found some problems. Once you are accepted, you will see here yours will have your podcast and the status will be showing live. Now, the next thing we're going to do is SoundCloud. Really easy. SoundCloud, you have to manually upload your episode, so make sure you always just remember to do that. Now, I already have a profile on SoundCloud, but you don't. So when you log in, you will have to create a new account. So you're going to edit everything. Now, remember when I had you guys copy all of the information that you put into your blog into a Word document? Now you can go ahead, copy that, and put all of that information here. So whatever you want for your bio, put that here. Whatever you use to describe your podcast before, put all of that information here. You don't need to go back and try to figure other things out because you already have it somewhere else. Just copy it and paste it. So now you are ready to upload an episode. You're going to go to the top, hit upload, and select the track or the file that you want to upload. The same way you did in your blog or your website, go to the document, go to the episode, and hit upload or open. All of the information that you have put on your blog post for that episode, copy it from there and paste it here. The title, the description, everything, the same image that you used for that episode, place that here for this image. Just copying and pasting. You've already done all the hard work before. This part is easy. Once your episode has finished uploading, it is available now as long as you have selected public, and anyone who is subscribed to your SoundCloud, then they can listen to it. You can put your episodes in a playlist so everything is in one place. Now, the one thing that I want to tell you guys about SoundCloud is if you are on just the basic plan, there is, I believe, a 3-hour limit for uploads. So once you reach that limit, your tracks will begin to be hidden so that the newest ones can show. But if you would like to have more time, then of course you have to pay for like the premium subscription. I'm still on the free one because, hey, free. That's just something to remember if you are looking to use SoundCloud. Each time you have a new episode, don't forget, once you upload it on your blog, make sure you don't forget to go and manually upload it over on SoundCloud. And after that, you're pretty much it. All you have to do is share that link of your SoundCloud page to whoever you want to share it with. You can put it over onto your blog as well to let people know that, hey, they can check you out on SoundCloud also because it's free. And that's it. So I want to leave you guys with a couple of tips that I have. I am starting out. So by the time this video goes up, I think I maybe will be on the 4th or 5th episode. I'm not really sure just yet, but I recommend recording between 2 to 5 episodes before even working on editing and getting it uploaded and all of that, so that you already have that buffer, because there will be times that you maybe don't feel like doing something. And it's good that you already have episodes recorded and out of the way for you. That's just something that I like to do. I believe that's it. I believe that's it for this video. If you guys are interested in my podcast, it is Revolution Tea. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play Music, as well as SoundCloud. There will, of course, be links to the podcast down in the description box. The podcast is called Revolution Tea, like I said, and it is about starting a revolution, but more than just starting a revolution. You will be able to hear stories from all different types of people, like all people from all over the world. And these are your everyday people that you will see out on the street. This could be your friend, your brother, your cousin, your mother, whoever, just sharing their stories of growth and development, change, the good, the bad, the ugly, blessings, not so great times, all different aspects of life. We're talking about sharing people's stories about people who have decided to leave their career and go somewhere else. You know, maybe they are revolutionary in their parenting style. So there are so many different things that you will get from the podcast. But ultimately, I just want to be able to show the world that everyday people are doing things in life. And it doesn't mean, it's not necessarily that you are perfect or you have things all together, because there are some people that will be on the podcast that are in transition and things are not necessarily the best right now, but they're working towards that. And there are people who are living out their purpose, and they're happy, and they talk about their path and their journey there. So that's ultimately what it is. And I want everyone to be able to feel the change and know that they possess it. I want every listener to know that the change starts here, like within you, and literally anything that you want to do, you can do. That's the gist. So the link will be in the description box. I hope that this helped you guys. And if you have started a podcast, please let us know down in the description box so we can come by and see yours. Any other tips that you may have that can help someone else, maybe even help me, leave that also down in the description box. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace. Oh yeah, okay, before I truly close off this video, if you guys do check out the podcast and you are loving it, please, please, please leave me 5 stars and also a review so that it can really help me and also help us find our other revolutionaries. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you all for real this time in the next video. Peace.